I think the Spurs just have a better team than I gave them credit for. I think Keldon Johnson
Yeah.
has like reinvented his game into like this offensive rebounding, cutting, dunker spot player, and it's been really, really good for him. Devin Vassell being like their designated shooter. Dylan Harper's been really, really good for a rookie. Hopefully he comes back and is fine. Stefan Castle's like their point of attack defender. They now bring back Jeremy Sohan, who I thought was their second best defender last year. He's
Harrison
been good.
Barnes.
Harrison Barnes makes some shots and brings some veteran presence. Um, Champagne is another shooter. Like their roster is actually better than I gave it credit for. So yeah, I think the Spurs are a legitimately good team. I wouldn't put them in that tier 1 or tier 1.5, but like that next tier, like tier 2 in the West, yeah, I'd probably have them in there. That's how good I
Well, they're
think they
number
are.
2 right now, Mars, in the Western Conference. How sustainable do you think that is?
I'd
Number 2
expect
right
Denver
now.
to take that spot. I'd expect
I
Denver
do
to take
too.
that spot, but 3 might be attainable. 3 might be attainable.
But to your point, Mars, you are actually higher on De'Aaron Fox than most people think. You just don't think he's a top 5 guard in the league. That's like me saying I don't think Wemby the best big man in the league. That doesn't mean I don't think he's a top 3 or top 5 big man in the league. He's still awesome. I mean, you just don't think he's as good as I think he is. That doesn't mean that you don't think he's still really good. I mean, compared to Brunson or compared to Luka or guys like that, you don't think he's that good. All right, that's fine. I could get with that. But I mean, when you think when I run down the rest of the guards in the league, and I'm talking about the better guards in the league, I mean, I'd like to think that you would have him because I heard you speak about De'Aaron Fox. You have him in those conversations with the better league guards in the game. I don't like when we get by, like I said, after we get by Luka and SGA and Curry and Brunson, and then we get a little further down the line. I mean, I hear you talk about De'Aaron Fox in with the likes of guys like Maxey and Cade and
No, not
like
not
Trae
this,
Young, guys like that.
not this Maxi, but yeah, previous Maxi.
Maxey's been
I'd
Maxey
have
is
him in
definitely
and
moving
I'd
up the
have him
line.
in and
Definitely
around
moving up the
that
line.
group for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So like Lucas Shea, Steph, Brunson, I'd have Cade in like
Cade, yeah,
the
right
higher
now.
group at this point.
Mm-hmm.
But like Maxi, De'Aaron, a healthy Garland.
Jamal Murray, the way he's been playing this
Eh.
season. LaMelo Ball.
Well, LaMelo's been not so
Nah.
great this year. Yeah.
I think De'Aaron's probably better than LaMelo. But yeah, I'd have him in and around that group. So like in and around the top 10. I don't know where he'd be, but yeah, I think De'Aaron's really good. I do think he obviously helps the Spurs. Just I wouldn't put him in like that top 5 range. But yeah, really good. And then in terms of athletic backcourts, Maxi and VJ come to mind.
I think those two definitely are the two most athletic players in the backcourt, both VJ and Maxey. Today, as of right now, I do think that there's a gap between I'm in the minority. I think as good of an athlete as VJ Escom is, I think that a lot of people think speed is just it just makes what athleticism is what it is. I mean, there's a number of different things. Castle is ridiculously strong. He's not wiry. At 6'6", I mean, we saw him in San Francisco. Like he's a big ass 6'6". Like he ain't a stick 6'6", Ron. He's a big 6'6". Strong as an ox.
He built like a
Jumps this
football
high.
player for real.
Yes, he is huge. Jumps this high. Really good agility. I think that, but I feel like VJ Edgecombe, his up and down and his lateral quickness, I think that might be the separator between those two because I think he's ridiculously strong too. So I think they're the best. I think they're the most athletic backcourt in the league.
Chill, and I don't know why I keep seeing people like they act like the Spurs are little. And I know you just talked about Stephon Castle, but Dylan Harper's big, Devin Vassell is big, De'Aaron Fox is big. I've seen somebody here try to tell me that De'Aaron Fox isn't 6'4".
He is 6'4". Yes, he is.
Like these dudes aren't like 6'1" guards. They have
No.
big guards over there. So.
Yes, huge guards. And San Antonio, to Mars' point, San Antonio is a lot better than what I thought that they were going to be. I just feel like what Wemby did early on in the season just increased the timeline. That's what happened more than anything. So now when a guy like Wemby plays the way he plays, what that means is guys like Vassell, guys like Castle, now you have to get better because the shelf life with a guy like Wemby, we don't know how long it is. I want it to be 10, 12 years. I do.
This
I
sounds
want
like
Wemby.
the Kevin Durant conversation when he was a rookie and early in his career.
What do you mean, Swiper?
That was exactly what people said then. They don't know what his shelf life would be because how skinny he was.
Right.
It's the exact same thing that people said.
and Wemby in the space
Pretty,
of being
pretty long shelf life.
Yes, absolutely. But let's be clear about one thing, Mars. 6'10" and 7'5" are not the same. Like
Absolutely.
there's a significant difference between 6'10" and 7'5" on top of what Wemby has to do. Like KD, I mean, we didn't talk about KD. You've mentioned it, Mars, but we didn't talk about KD nearly as much, the explosiveness that he had when he was younger, getting downhill, particularly the transition player that he is. Wemby at 7'5", I mean, he's going to have to take I think he's going to have to take a lot more of a beating because he plays down low. So we're talking about rebounding. Like KD didn't have to do that because he had guys on his front line. He's got to block shots. He's got to deal to Ox's point. He's got to deal with those monsters. That paint is not for the faint. I can promise you that. It's not for it's very dangerous down there. Very much so. So what I'm hoping with Wemby is that if I could get a decade, 100%. But as of right now, I'm trying to definitely speed up this timeline. Castle, Vassell, Sochan, Fox, like these guys, we got to get Sohan. I'm sorry.
So it's Jeremy Sohan.
It's spelled Sochan. It's Sohan. I apologize.
Sohan,
That's his name. Sohan. Just like my buddy calls Giannis, he calls him Antetokounmpo. That is not his name. His name's not Antetokounmpo. But yeah, that's not his name. But what I'm saying is these guys have to get better, and they have to get better now because we live in such parity in the NBA.
De'Aaron Fox is really good at the sport. There were a lot of people saying a lot of dumb things about De'Aaron Fox when the season first started because Castle was out there averaging 19 points, 6 assists, and 7 turnovers. So it's nice that, we're finally starting to calm down a little bit. Dylan Harper got off to a really good start. However, he's also not De'Aaron Fox. There were some interesting conversations in the offseason that we had up here about De'Aaron Fox. I do think that he's better than a couple of those players that we mentioned him with. De'Aaron kind of he scores so easy. Like to me, if he had like a level of scoring aggression, he would be a 28 plus point per game scorer very easily in this league. He gets in the paint religiously when he wants to. The pull-up midi game is elite. The touch around the basket is elite. The floaters, the runners, all of that is going down at a remarkable clip. And I think he's definitely going to be a better shooter than he was last year, be it that, he was dealing with torn ligaments in his shooting hand last year, and people wanted to act like, him shooting 31% was going to be the norm when the season prior he shot like 38.
Real quick, you can get through that. You got torn ligaments in your hand. Ain't no big deal. You can get through that.
Yeah. I don't want to get into where he ranks in the league or whatnot, but I will say this: if De'Aaron Fox is my point guard, I fear no PG in the league. I feel like my PG can match up, and if your PG has to guard my PG, we'll see how that goes for you during the night, especially come fourth quarter time where he does turn up that scoring aggression. And there's a reason why he's been amongst the league leaders in clutch points over and over and over again, because in one-on-one situations, he's practically unguardable.
That's what you heard what the commentator said. That's Mr. Fourth Quarter.
Exactly.
You know what I mean, like that's what he does. But I don't think you couldn't have said it better than that. Real talk. Like to me, I don't care where anybody ranks De'Aaron Fox. You put your point guard against his point guard, and it's a fair fight every time. No matter who wins, it's even Stevens in my eyes when you got Fox.
Mm-hmm. You're not rolling even with SGA, with Luka, with Brunson. You're not just rolling over him. That's not happening. No, you're not.
No, sir.
It's the player choice way. Yeah, them boys don't get it started. The player choice way. The player choice way. Come and switch lanes into the player choice way.